Chapter 10. The Prisoner in the Pyramid. Through in the text, named by scholars the myths of Inanna and Bilulu. In it, the shady old Balili turns out to have been a male, the lord Bilulu, and Bilulu in disguise, and the very deity who directed the punitive action against Dumuzi. With Marduk fresh out of his hiding place, the solution dawned on Inanna, and she proceeded to address the gods. On this day, the lady herself, she who speaks truth, the accuser of Azag, the great princess, an awesome judgment uttered. There was a way to sentence Marduk to death without actually executing him, she said. Let him be buried alive within the Great Pyramid. Let him be sealed there, as in a gigantic envelope. In a great envelope that is sealed, with no one to offer him nourishment, alone to suffer, the potable water source to be cut off. The judging gods accepted her suggestions. The mistress art thou, the fate thou decreest. Let it be so. Assuming that Anu would go along with the verdict, the gods then placed the command to heaven and earth. The Eker, the Great Pyramid, had become a prison. Marduk had air to breathe, but he had neither food nor water. He was buried alive, doomed to die in agony. The record of Marduk's entombment, alive, within the Great Pyramid, has been preserved on clay tablets found in the ruins of Ashur and Nineveh, the ancient Assyrian capitals. To allay any fear that a released Marduk might become a challenger for supremacy among the gods, the appeals succeed, and the supreme god sends the divine messenger, Nusku, to announce the good tidings to all the gods. As a gesture of goodwill, Gula, the spouse of Ninurta, sends to Sarpanit new clothing and sandals for Marduk. Marduk's driverless chariot also appears. Marduk's driverless chariot also appears. Marduk's driverless chariot also appears. She cannot understand how Marduk can be free again if he had been imprisoned in a tomb that cannot be unsealed. How can they let him free, the one who cannot come out? Nusku, the divine messenger, tells her that Marduk shall pass through the Sabad, the chiseled upper opening. He explains that it is Dalat Biri Shah Ikabuni Ilani, a doorway shaft which the gods will bore. Shunu, Itashrushu, Inabiti, Itarba. Its vortex they will lift off. His abode they shall enter. Dalta, Ina, Panishu, Etadili, the door which was barred before him. Shunu, Horate, Ina Libi, Dalti, Uptalishu. At the vortex of the hollowing, into the insides, a doorway they shall twistingly bore. Karabu, Ina Libi, Upushu. Getting near into its midst, they will break through. This description of how Marduk shall be released has remained meaningless to scholars, but the verses are explosively meaningful to us. As we have explained, the irregular and twisting segment C of the well shaft had not existed when the pyramid was completed, and when Marduk was imprisoned within it. It was instead the very doorway shaft which the gods will bore to rescue Marduk. Still familiar with the pyramid's inner layout, the Anunnaki realized that the shortest and quickest way to reach the starved Marduk was to tunnel a connecting shaft between the existing segments B and D, a tunneling of a mere 32 feet. A tunneling of a mere 32 feet. A tunneling of a mere 32 feet. Now the rescuers climbed the short distance up segment D and faced the first course of the pyramid's masonry. 32 feet above, but to the side, lay the bottom of vertical segment B and the way into the grand gallery. But who could have known how to bore a twisting connecting shaft, C, except those who had built the pyramid, knew of its inner sealed-off upper sections, and had the plans to locate them? It was the rescuers of Marduk, we suggest, who used their tools to break through the limestone blocks. A hollowing into its insides they shall twistingly bore, in the words of the ancient text. Achieving the link up with B, they clambered to the short horizontal passage A. There any stranger would have stopped short even if he had gone that far up, for all he would have seen would be a stone wall, solid masonry. Again, the Mesopotamian record offers a solution. The stone was indeed removed from within the horizontal passageway, because it was from there that the rescuers had arrived, and it was indeed burst open by a tremendous force. In the words of the ancient text, getting near into its midst, they will break through. Having broken through into the grand gallery, the rescuers led Marduk back the way they came. The entry from the descending passage was sealed up again, to be discovered by Al-Mamun's men. The granite plugs remained in place, with the triangular junction stone hiding the plugs and the ascending passage for millennia. And inside the pyramid, the original upper and lower parts of the well shaft were now, for all future days, connected by a twisting, harshly tunneled segment. And what of the rescued prisoner of the pyramid? Mesopotamian texts relate that he went into exile. In Egypt, Ra acquired the epithet Amen, the Hidden One. Circa 2000 B.C., he reappeared to claim again supremacy. For that, mankind ended up paying a most bitter price.